The movie begins with prisoners being transported through the snow, where we take a break during which we meet Kraven the Hunter. They then head back toward a Russian prison. After entering, everyone takes their stuff and goes to the cell where he meets his cellmate, who doesn't like sharing the cell with anyone. Kraven reassures him that he doesn't need to worry because he won't stay longer than 3 days. He goes for a short warm-up, where some guys tell him that this is private territory, and Kraven proceeds to make it his own. Due to an incident, the boss wants to talk to him and Kraven introduces himself, making sure his name is not just a myth, but that he hunts people like him. After he deals with them, he becomes a prisoner on the run and jumps from rooftops while they shoot at him, and his cellmate is happy to be alone again. Kraven successfully escapes above the icy walls right into a storm, where he meets a wolf that retreats, and then he boards a plane waiting for him, erasing the tattoo on his neck the same as the body found in the snow, making his escape successful. Now, the story goes back 16 years earlier to New York, where we meet him and his brother, Dmitri. Their father, Nikolai, comes to pick them up in a car and delivers the heavy news that their mother has committed suicide. Their next destination is not the funeral, but a hunt. Meanwhile, we meet Calypso, who draws cards from her grandmother. The first card is subject, the second situation, a tower, meaning that a terrible accident is going to happen, and the third is outcome, strength, a dangerous card. Then her grandmother shows her a potion that has been passed down through generations and heals anyone who drinks it. On the other side, the hunt begins successfully, and the father teaches him never to fear death. One of his companions wants to offer something to Nikolai, who says he is irrelevant and doesn't care about his ideas because he is here for the hunt and wants to catch the legend to become one himself. The father shoots a lion that attacks young Kraven and, seriously injured, takes him to an unknown place. Meanwhile, Calypso is with her family looking for animals while watching the card featuring the lion and quietly sneaks away only to find herself in shock. A drop of blood falls from the lion to Kraven, and she approaches him to give him the potion, while help arrives for him as she puts the card in his hands. When he arrives at the hospital, they are unable to save him, and he dies for 3 minutes before coming back to life, after which he holds the card in his hands as his family arrives, where the father insists on taking him home despite the fact that he still needs to lie down. At home, he finds a letter from his mother, which she wrote to him before her suicide, saying that she had no choice because of his father and that he should never be like him. Nikolai wants him to inherit his business, but the hate between him and his father grows, resulting in young Kraven leaving. Although Dmitri doesn't want to leave him alone with their father, however, he has no other choice. He heads further east in Russia, where he finds himself in a meadow full of bulls charging at him. Kraven surrenders, and one of them stops and serves as protection, so he remains unharmed. Thus, he continues on his path day and night, enjoying his new ability. However, soon his sharp eyesight, which zooms like an iPhone camera, spots a new obstacle on the horizon. As he approaches, tension rises due to hunters who have destroyed innocent lives. Young Kraven doesn't allow them to pass unpunished, but a few of them have already found their way forward. Now we return to the present, where Kraven, after escaping from prison, pulls out his card and soon arrives home, where he finds his lunch. After a break, Kraven goes hunting poachers who are disturbing the animals. Kraven is dissatisfied that they kill only to take horns. He crawls under a vehicle and in a few seconds eliminates one poacher while their leader flees, and Kraven focuses on the license plate. The scene shifts to London, where a poacher arrives safely and addresses his boss, thinking that he is safe, only to find Kraven standing in his place, checking off his list as the poacher joins his boss. Immediately afterward, Calypso gives a speech at the funeral of her mentor. Waiting for her is Kraven, who captures her attention only when he says her name and shows her the card she gave him. Kraven states that he can find the killer of her mentor because he is a hunter of bad men like him. After their meeting, Kraven goes to do his job, drawing her attention at home to investigate him, and then they meet where she accuses him of not wanting someone to kill for her one, claiming she is a lawyer. Kraven wants a partnership because through her company he can find his targets on the list more easily, and she will think about it. A man named Alexei, who worked for Nikolai, is now wealthy and runs his own operation. He has just learned that one man in prison has been killed by a hunter, and he organizes a meeting with another gang to take over their transactions since their boss is dead. He needs one companion. Alexei shows them why he is called Rhino by moving a tube attached to him, and his body begins to change as they think they can get rid of him. However, Rhino rises and pulls bullets from himself before comes back to his original state. One companion is eliminated by a sniper, and another is dealt with until only one remains. Now we shift to Dmitry, who is a singer in his club. His father meets with a man who has lost his boss and offers him a partnership, which he immediately accepts, making him suspicious, as he is already in agreement with Rhino, who sends his regards. Nikolai protects himself, and a brief shootout erupts until everyone leaves. Meanwhile, Dmitry hides under the piano, and his father scolds him for being useless because he cannot even protect himself. Rhino gets data through a flash device and learns that the hunter is the son of his rival, whom he tried to eliminate. In the meantime, a suspicious man is outside the Russian prison, counting to 3, and with his speed takes a guard's pistol and eliminates him. Kraven decides to surprise his younger brother by climbing a building and sneaking in to wish him a happy birthday. Dmitry gives him a suit, and they go to his club. Dmitry thinks their father is right and stands by him, while Kraven calls his father a criminal who is just arriving. They only shake hands and toast without a word from Kraven, who later takes his drunken brother to the room, where he apologizes for leaving him with their father. While his brother sleeps, Kraven cannot fall asleep and goes outside, and in the morning he returns and stops the elevator with a knife. Up in the room, he sees the mess and outside notice that his brother has been kidnapped. He quickly jumps down and tries to catch up with them, keeping an eye on them while they give him an injection. Kraven moves on and reaches a bridge where he gets their attention and finally confronts them, hitting them and then jumping onto a car. However, the glass is bulletproof, and he bends the door, but they shake him off for a moment and escape in a helicopter where Kraven slowly catches up. He manages to stop them and takes one of them down, then jumps and surfs on the water, where they finally leave him underwater. He goes barefoot to Calypso in her workspace and complains about his brother, where she helps him. Kraven visits his father, who shows him a message of his brother's finger. They are asking for 20 million within 48 hours. He doesn't want to pay because that would make him appear weak and claims that Dmitry is already dead, but they give him antibiotics to keep him alive. Meanwhile, Calypso looks for a man for Kraven and receives a message from her friend who gives her false information, expecting a bonus, which she receives in 3 seconds from Foreigner. Now Rhino has set up Kraven to go to Turkey to find his target. He eliminates one of them and then sneaks up the stairs, passing 2 guards, and deals with another one, but they hear him coming. They prepare to shoot at him, and Kraven gets to the last guard, who says that his brother is with Rhino, who has him secured. Kraven notices that he is in their sights and jumps as everything collapses on him. Then the scene shifts to Dmitry, to whom Rhino says he was not the target, but rather his brother, showing him evidence to confirm it while shock on his face rises. In the meantime, the people who shot at Kraven are filming thinking he is buried under the rubble, and he gets their attention. Now that Kraven knows about the trap, he informs Calypso, who is in danger and begins to pack. Now Rhino talks about how he wanted to show himself off and how he met a professor who helped him increase his strength tenfold, but at a great cost. He wants to take his father's territory and make Dmitry his companion. He says he will not betray his family, and Rhino pulls a gun on him just as he hears that Kraven is here. They all wait for the elevator, and a foreigner arrives, performing his trick and getting a food for free. Kraven meets with Calypso, and they go for a walk when they are interrupted by an old friend who wants to hang out. They go to his hideout, and he inquires about the potion that saved his life and wants to procure more, but she has none left as her grandmother has passed away. Meanwhile, Rhino learns of a plant that the foreigner has discovered and wants to use against Kraven. They prepare and put poison in a weapon that paralyzes the target. Rhino forces Dmitri to call his brother to recruit him as a second companion, but Kraven hangs up. Rhino prepares his team with a lot of weapons to hunt the hunter, who is also preparing his tools. However, there is an animal that attacks them, and Dmitri successfully flees into the woods. While they search for them, Kraven jumps out and shows his strength, but that's not all, as there are also traps set up for the guests. After that, they use weapons from above and drive Kraven right toward the foreigner, who hits him with poison, making him hallucinate spiders that diminish his fighting ability. The foreigner counts to 3 and hits him again with poison that will make him lose all motor functions. They begin to fight, but Kraven doesn't resist and loses his ability more and more until the countdown reaches 3, but at the moment it hits 2, he is struck by Calypso. She approaches Kraven and gives him the last potion that can bring him back to life once more. Rhino's people bring Dmitri to inform him that Kraven is dead, making Rhino smile as he continues his path and suddenly sees a herd of animals approaching, shifting his safe zone as he slowly transforms into a rhinoceros. Cars are knocked down one by one, and Kraven joins, leading to a fight with Rhino, who shows his strength and impenetrable body. He knocks Kraven down and delivers several blows, ultimately holding him in his grip. However, Kraven finds a spot where he can injure him and uses it, making him bleed. In the end, Rhino is mortally wounded, and both brothers approach him, where Dmitri pulls out a gun, determined to kill someone for the first time, while his brother calms him down and Rhino dies. Later, Kraven goes to his father's camp and says he knows he sent Rhino his footage on a flash drive, revealing who the hunter is. Nikolai says he couldn't defeat Rhino alone, which is why he used Kraven to do it for him, risking his other son, Dmitri, who served as a good bait. The father wants his son back, but Kraven leaves with his last words, "Never fear death," as his father taught him. At that moment, a sound is heard nearby, and Nikolai grabs a gun that is out of bullets, and a bear knocks him down as Kraven departs. A year later, Dmitri is singing in his club, and his brother visits him for his birthday again. Dmitri says he has retained his father's business and hasn't sold it, and that he has met a doctor who has changed him. After that, he leaves, and Kraven follows him, and just as he catches up with him, he turns, transforming into his brother. Kraven is surprised and catches up with him again, where Dmitri says he can change shape and that since their father and Rhino are dead, he will take over everything. He also says their father left something for him, the hunter's costume made from the lion, along with a message that they are both the same and will forever be hunters.